for property investors in advanced strategies. So that's the short version. And yes, I am loving your weather. It's nice and cold. All right, so when I first bought my first rental property and started going to property investor meetings, you know, they used to scare me. And they still do a little bit sometimes, but I go with different eyes on now. But I used to go to the property investor meetings, and I would hear, you know, talk or conversation after conversation of horror stories of tenants and what they've done to their properties, and you know what I'm talking about, right? The horror stories. And I thought, and I had already 2 properties, and I thought, well, you know, if you look at property as a business, what do you think your tenants would be classed as in your business?
Customers.
Customers, of course, exactly, customers. And I thought, well, why would I want to get into a business where I hate my customers and my customers hate me? Right? And I thought, okay. Then after I started doing training in the US and learned a few strategies. And there's one that I really want to talk to you a little bit about tonight. I don't have much time. And once I started implementing this strategy in my investing world, would you believe me if I told you there is such a thing as the perfect tenant?
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
We want to believe you.
Good. You're so good.
I don't know.
You don't know? Oh, okay. You need to be on my webinar. If I was to tell you there is a way that you could get your tenants to pay you more than market rent, and possibly for a less than, up to standard property, full market value for your property, plus give you a deposit up front of 7 to 5% of the value of the property, and not only take care of maintenance and repairs at their own cost, but improve your property at their own cost. Would that be something that you would like to know about? And not only will they do all of this, but they will also love you for it.
Yes.
All right? I have the perfect tenants, and they love me. I don't talk to them, they don't talk to me. We get on great, right? When I go around and do property inspections, my house looks better than what it did the last time I went around. They painted it, carpet, gardens, cosmetic only. Anyway, so once I started, I learned this strategy. Anybody have an idea about what I might be talking about? Tenant buyers, rent to buy. Exactly. And it's not as complicated as people may think. It is actually very, very, very simple. So when I started implementing this strategy, after a while, I would go to these investor meetings, and people would get up and tell their horror stories, and I would think, I don't have any of that anymore. And then at one meeting, there was about 300 people in the room, and I was sitting in the back. I'm a backseat girl. Oh gosh, that doesn't sound like it. Okay. And anyway, so I was sitting at the back, and somebody asked the room, raise your hand if you have investment properties. And about 3/4 of the room raised their hand. And he said, keep your hand up if you own 2 or more. And about 50% of the room put their hand down. There was only a few people left. And then he said, okay, keep your hand up if you have 5 or more properties. And then it was only me, my business partner, and a student of mine sitting in the back, still with our hands up. And so we sort of put our hands down, and I thought, wow, the amount of horror stories I've heard from this room, and the majority of them own less than 5 properties. How are they running their property business? Maybe they need to know, something different, do something different. Would you agree? Yes? Yes? Okay. So, we are, Christine and I are running a webinar next Tuesday night. So, Raise your hand if you would like to hear more about this strategy. Yes? Okay, excellent. She is going to email you the link tomorrow. Make sure you click on it and attend and have all of your questions ready. And I look forward to explaining this to you and working with as many of you as possible.
Perfect.
So, that's
Thank
it.
you.